Kia ora guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're doing a quick Q&A. In the last video I asked you guys to drop a few comments down below, ask me a few questions, and today we will be answering them. And at the same time I figured rather than just doing it standing in front of something, we'd actually do some work on the old truck as well. So I got some new wheels for it. I know I said I wouldn't be modifying it being the daily, but I couldn't help myself. There's plans already been made for that thing, but today we're going to be chucking some new wheels on it, and yeah. But firstly, yesterday was the subscriber meetup. I'd just like to say a massive thank you to everyone who turned up. We ended up having a total of 10 trucks, so that was way more than I was expecting. I was fully expecting it to be nobody showing up. So that video will be going up next Monday, so stay tuned for that. It was an awesome day. I'll leave a teaser for you just here. So yeah, as you can see, we had an awesome time. I was so stoked with the turnout, so once again, big thanks to everyone who turned up. Anyways, I've got some questions on my phone here, so we will get right into those, and we'll start changing the wheels out on the truck as well. Right, so these are the wheels that I'll be chucking on. They're an Australian brand alloy wheel. Basically, this is the daily driver. It's not being modified too much yet, but me being me, I couldn't help but change it up a little bit. So I've got these wheels. They've got a horrible paint job on them right now. They've been sprayed in something horrible, thick black paint, which will not be staying. But right now I'm just going to be fitting these up just to test run them, test fit, see what the offset looks like before I get some new tyres. So it's got a set of pretty hatted old road tyres on, stuck on them as well from my old Disco 2. So basically just test fitting them, and I'm going to run them for a wee while, and then I'll buy some proper tyres, and at the same time I'll get the rims resprayed. But I'll show you the rims closer. They're a 16 by 8, and what I really like about them is while they aren't factory, they look almost factory. So this truck we're going with a kind of the OEM plus sort of look. But yeah, I just want to get it looking a little wider, a little thicker. And if those wheels don't do it enough, I've also got a set of 30mm Terra Firma wheel spacers we can chuck on if need be. So we'll test fit without first, and then we'll make a decision as to if wheel spacers are going to go on. So. Okay guys, well it's down on the ground with the wheel spacers. I think I'm going to go full send, chuck the wheel spacers on all fours, and chuck the new tyres on. We'll see how it goes. I'll daily it this week, and if it's no good, then I'll take them out. But yeah, I reckon I'll go ahead, chuck all those wheel spacers on. Alright guys, well there you have it. I kind of stopped filming, got carried away with just chucking the wheels on. Anyway, wheels are all on. One small problem, this truck has had a crash in the front left corner when before I got it, and you can see it's pushed this bumper up, and also not left much room in here when you compare it to the other side where there's like heaps of room. Alrighty guys, Q&A time I reckon. So, let's get into it. Hamish Bennett asks, what have you done to get it sounding like that? Center muffler delete? Sounds mean. Thanks Hamish. You're referring to Lando, the V8 Disco. That has got just a straight through system, 2.5 inch with one 15-inch resonator like where the mid box normally would be, and then just a side exit. I'll chuck in a quick clip for you here of what it sounds like when it's at full noise. Yeah, that's a basic system. It's a lot louder and raspier than I'd like, so I will be doing a new exhaust on the truck at some stage in the future, because while it sounds cool when you're playing, when you're driving 3 hours over the coast, it gets quite annoying. But that's the story with that truck. Flynn Coscaree, oh that's Flynn, from the West Coast trip. He drives that Exo Caged Grand Vitara. He says, when's the $100 disco getting 40s? Well, if you buy them for me, I'll chuck them on. Will says, your opinion on auto versus manual off-road, beach, mud, steep hills. That's a good one. There is no hard and fast rule. Like, in my personal preference, if I'm doing tough stuff like playing on the coast and that, auto all day. Just, you've got so much more control. I've got a really big trans cooler on it, and I just left foot brake and just crawl for days. But it's nowhere near as fun when you're just playing around in a riverbed. That's where this truck here is awesome. It's just a manual, and I've had a few manual four drives. It's so much more fun when you're just mucking around. But yeah, when you start trying to do the slow technical stuff, auto's definitely got more control. I could go on for hours about that, but I'd say that's my short answer anyway. Out There Off-Road says, favourite mod you've made to increase off-road ability of your V8 Discovery? Again, referring to Lando. Right, so that's referring to Lando. Favourite mod for off-road ability wise has to be the Silverstones. Those tyres just hook up. It's insane. Paired with the beadlock rims, just run low pressures for days, and they really work. Definitely not a good upgrade overall, because they suck on road. They are terrible. In fact, I'm looking at changing over to some different tyres in the near future. But for off-road ability, those aggressive tyres, they are seriously hard to beat. Salty Pretzel asks, things to look for when buying a V8 Disco. V8 Disco 1s, they are known, probably the biggest thing to keep an eye out for, like full stop, is rust. They like to rust in the rear body mounts, in the corners of the rear floor. So that's what I'd keep an eye out for. If you've got a rust-free shell, those V8s, everyone's got a different opinion, but I've found them to be fairly bulletproof. But yeah, make sure the vehicle's a rust-free model, because you don't want to start putting your hard-earned cash into a vehicle that's just going to end up taking up more money than you really should spend on it. What else have people said? Jeremy Madley asks, what apps and resources do you use when planning and are on trips? That's a good one. Resource-wise, the best thing you can do is join a full drive club. That way you've got, like, if you're getting into it, you've got so much knowledge around you, especially if you've got a fairly standard generic vehicle like the Disco here. Everyone will have done the things you're wanting to do to it. They'll have already done it, like tow hooks. Someone is bound to be able to tell you easiest, cheapest way to mount tow hooks. So plan, and then that kind of goes into the planning trip side of things. You can just follow along on the trips as long as your vehicle meets meets the requirements of what the trip leader says, mate, you're good to go. So resource wise, that's pretty much the only thing I use for planning is the Full Drive Club, and you kind of start to make friends at the Full Drive clubs, and I don't actually do all that many club trips anymore. I've made friends with a lot of club members and we go off and do private trips, but yeah, just immerse yourself in the Full Drive scene is probably the best resource. As for apps that I use this app called NZ Topo 50, and basically it's just a massive map of New Zealand, and it's basically just a GPS, and it logs your trips. You can pinpoint certain areas, you can log a trip. It's got really good detail. I think the whole app's like $8 for the whole thing, and yeah, you're away laughing, and it saved me having to buy a GPS. I still want to get a GPS, but this works just fine for the time being. So that's actually the only app I use off-road. Yeah, I love it. I really rate it. That pretty much answers all the questions I have been asked lately. I think we will jump back in the truck. We'll go find a little ditch or something to flex the truck up on, make sure that the tyres aren't rubbing, and head home, and I'll start editing because I need to get this video done tonight. So let's get into that, eh? We've found a wee spot to flex the truck up on. It's looking like we're going to have to do a bit of folding and trimming. I'll take you over here. Looks like we're going to have to do a camel cut because rubbing right there. But other than that, it is beautifully tucking up in, oh no, it's touching the, looks like it's touching just up in here as well, so a little bit of the old trimming and folding is going to be necessary. We'll check up front though. Oh. Plenty of room for steering still. Yep, no, it's looking like it's only going to be the rear quarter panel that's going to need a bit of a fold, and just up under by where the rear door is. So not too much work. I'm glad we won't have to hack this thing up. Looks like a bit of folding we should be sweet, because yeah, you don't really want to go chopping up in a nice truck. But yeah, no, I'm stoked with that. So we'll shoot home and yeah, call it a day. Alrighty guys, well that wraps up today's video. I hope I was able to answer a few of you guys' questions, and also a win getting the tyres and wheels fitted to the new truck. So yeah, stay tuned for next week's video. We'll be doing the subscriber meetup, so hit subscribe to be notified for that. It's going to be a good video. I know we all had a lot of fun, so yeah, it's going to be sweet. And yeah, we've got heaps more coming. We've got a really big announcement coming shortly regarding one of the trucks. There's some big stuff happening to that, so stay tuned for that as well. If you enjoyed the video, give us a like, let me know in the comments down below, and if you've got any questions, also leave them in the comments down below, and I'll try to get back to you. But yeah, that's pretty much it for today's video. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys all in the next one. Cheers guys, see ya.